robots, romance, and cool looking drawings. I read Alex plus Ada. Here's what I thought.
And now, a conversation piece. This is the rundown.
Actually, as of this recording, I did finish this whole series, and man, what a ride, what an interesting adventure reading Alex plus Ada was. Alex plus Ada. It is a comic book series from Image. It's composed of 3 trade paperbacks or 15 single issues. I highly recommend you check them out. I thought it was fantastic. I went in as a blind purchase. I left satisfied. It's a thrilling, romantic escapade in what I could best describe as like like Wally meets a Lifetime movie. I don't know what I'm saying. I just thought it was fantastic. It's written by Jonathan Luna and as well as Sarah Vaughn, as well as illustrated by them. And I thought it was pretty fantastic. And I'm saying fantastic a lot, but whatever. Here's the first cover for the first trade paperback. I don't know if you guys can see it. You got the second one right there. And yeah, you got the third one right there. It's fantastic, folks. It's split up. The first issue, just 5 issues per trade, basically, right? Because, yeah. Right off the back cover, I can tell you that the last thing in the world Alex wanted was an X5, the latest in realistic androids. But after Ada is dropped into his life, he discovers she is more than just a robot. Alex plus Ada explores what it means to be real in this sci-fi drama set in the near future, created by Jonathan Luna and Sarah Vaughn. That basically is the gist of it, and if you guys want to know about Alex plus Ada, I will tell you what I thought about it. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm usually the kind of geek that likes unconventional things, so when I was watching YouTube videos and people talking about collections and all that stuff, something piqued my interest. I don't remember which YouTuber it was, I'm sorry. But somebody had Alex plus Ada in their collection, and how he or she was talking about how great it was, and yeah, it definitely piqued my interest. I think I found the first trade at an eBay auction, and I won it for $8 or $9. It's actually, the first one is it's only $13, but I think I won it for like 11 or something like that. The rest I did pick up online at InStockTrades.com for really cheap prices. So yeah, Alex plus Ada. Let's get to it. What did I think of the book? I thought it was awesome. The art style, I do have to admit, the art style for me, for my taste, it took me a while to hook me in, but it wasn't that long. Like by the end of the first issue, I was hooked because the story is so interesting. This is basically what happens when, or let's just face it, we're headed down this path. What will happen when we create robots, androids, or artificial intelligence, all that cool stuff that we see in movies and gadgets, whatever, comes to life, I guess. How do we interact with it? What defines what they are? The whole concept of artificial intelligence, is it really real? Can you count it amongst the species? For example, you have an animal. Do you consider a robot as a species as well? How do you treat it? Is it your property? Is it not? Obviously, it can think for itself, or it cannot. Sort of all these topics are coming in the near future. And this book, in my opinion, expertly deals with the fact that, hey, romance in the whole cybernetic era that we're approaching can be possible, I guess. Obviously, this is a world where, we're starting to see that now with the whole Google gadgets being on your eyeglasses and whatnot. But here you get them like cybernetic implants, and it's more mental than it is a visual or machine thing. I'm staring on my computer right here, right now. It's more of a mental thing, right? So what happens when you get these service droids, I guess you would call them, that are like fully functioning adults? And obviously you do use them for good, you use them for perverted reasons, and you use them for work reasons. But in the case of our protagonist, Alex gets an interesting gift from his grandmother, and it is the brand spanking new X5 model Ada, which, you know, he named her Ada. And pretty soon you get the sense that this is a interesting robot. In the history of robots, this one is somewhat special because it is so down to earth. Even when she is starting, she is pretty chillax about things. She's pretty chill. It isn't until the concept of, hey, we can alter robots, are basically creating androids with artificial intelligence, giving them sentience. Then you start to wonder, is it really right to keep all these droids locked up as they are, you know, as service equipment, as machines? If they do have the innate potential or the sentience to do great things, to help society, it's the same as if suddenly aliens were confirmed. I think there would be a mass hysteria in real life. Same in this book. Once the first robot gains sentience, what do? We chastise it, we go crazy, we start killing them because we're afraid of what we don't understand. Unfortunately, that is part of human nature, not understanding things right at the get-go. But there are trailblazers that see beyond the possibility of just this being a service droid. I'm using that word a lot. But just being a machine, it can be something more. It can fill that gap for people that have experienced loss, that grief, that have not had the opportunity to find love or whatever. So those sorts of themes are explored in this book. Now, what I liked about it is the fact that you get an honest to good romance story with a sci-fi setting. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm usually a fan of unconventional things. I prefer reading these sorts of stories than your regular action comic book thing. This one was really interesting, and I really warmed up to Ada. I thought she was a fantastic robot or android. By the way, in my opinion, these 3 books, they should be adapted to a Hollywood movie. I think it would be pretty cool. You wouldn't have to change a whole lot. It's a pretty easygoing story where it doesn't get like too complicated, but it does put you in the spot for you to think about the future. Obviously, we're not there yet, so we can only speculate. But yes, eventually humanity will be at a crossing point where you have to accept, you know, is AI really worth it? And by worth it, I mean, is it real? Do you acknowledge it as something that has equal footing with humans? So one of my favorite things was the internet forum. I thought that was a pretty cool take on the whole forum thing. You get to meet other androids and other cool stuff. Basically a glorified chat room, like the MSN days. But yeah, I don't know if it's viewable or not. Here's the back cover, front. Yeah, this whole thing changes. This whole book, this whole idea, this whole plot changes once Alex frees Ada of the constraints of being a robot, basically, and gaining sentience, gaining that knowledge that we all crave, feeling and emoting and just living, just having a life. That's the turning point of the series, in my opinion. And yeah, inevitably they're going to come out with a hardcover book with everything collected, because it's just 15 issues. But you know, all of them are $13, right? Yeah, $13. At $13 a piece, this is not something that is gonna break your bank. I think it's affordable enough, and Image books are really top quality in my opinion. Great binding for a trade paperback, and hopefully it does get collected in like one single hardcover collection. But that all depends on people actually reading it. So I'm contributing to this. I think Jonathan Luna and Sarah Vaughn did an amazing job, and I think you guys should at least give it a whirl. If you like romance, if you like sci-fi, the whole idea of robots and all that stuff, then by all means pick it up. You will not be disappointed. The ending threw me for a loop. I was not expecting that whole ending. And if you've read it, you know what I'm referring to. You know what I'm talking about. By the way, the book proposes an idea that robots or androids can dream. Now that'll be the day, let me tell you. Because if robots can dream, what's stopping them from taking over the world, right? I thought it was a pretty interesting take on the whole android thing. Basic human rights, and you could make the case, you can apply it to real world issues. The battle against the battle for equality with racists and you know, with bigotry, racism, and all that stuff. Everything is in there, and it makes you think. The idea is to stimulate your brain and get you talking about all these topics. That is why Alex Plus Ada is highly recommended on my part. So yeah, one of the funny things about this book that I really liked was the fact that androids, of course, need food as well as we do to you know, charge up the batteries, of course. But there's so many questions I want to know about androids. Now I'm pretty interested. You know what? I'll stop this video. I'm gonna go check out some cool stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching another epic installment here at The Rundown on A Week in Geekdom. I have been your host, Giovanni Menendez, and you can subscribe to our videos here on YouTube. Like this video below. Tell me if you liked this video. If you hated it, that's okay as well. So thank you guys once again. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr, Vine, and of course Periscope, and many others. Just type A Week in Geekdom and I'm there for you guys. Alright, I'm out.
Thank you for tuning in to another installment. You can keep the conversation going through your favorite social media platform. You can like and subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on Twitter, like our fan page on Facebook, and favorite our pics on Instagram. You can also write to us for feedback, suggestions, and such via aweekingeekdom@gmail.com. Until next time,